So I'm going to pass to Tanya to talk a little bit about competency frameworks with the Global Impact Diploma specifically. Did you practice your group work here before you came?
Well, I think one of the most exciting things about the Global Impact Diploma is that it's being built iteratively, and we actually, in that design sprint, whittled down to the core competencies that were not just something we wanted to assess whether students achieved them, but we wanted to bake them into all of the courses so that students learned about them. And so rather than, at the end of a class or at the end of a project, assessing them with, a rubric in the standard way and asking questions, and it would never be a test, it starts at the beginning of the course. So there is a foundational course where they're introduced to the competencies and they unpack what it means. What does it mean to design for impact? And there are many, many layers to that. There are project management layers, how you work with a group, and it starts at the beginning of the class. And so most of the course is aimed at unpacking a specific competency or two and building a student's capacity for that competency, not just for that particular class, but, aimed to their future. So if you are somebody who really understands your motivation and what drives you, which is actually the first competency, you can translate that into writing your essay for admittance to university. You have a really clear understanding of what that is for you because you've been unpacking it for 2 years as you've been engaging in these GID courses. When your first employer asks you what made you apply to this job, you will absolutely be able to, articulate that in a way that somebody who's spent a lot of time thinking about, designing for the type of impact that you'd like to have. It'll give you a bigger vocabulary, more confidence in talking about it. It's not just competencies for doing well in high school or then in university, but also, of the competencies that have been designed for the Global Impact Diploma, I'm still working on all 6 of them and growing my competency in all those areas as well.
Which 6 are they?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, I think, are they the emerging needs?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so it's drive, designing for impact, empathy for impact, collaboration for impact, reflection, and then communication. And we put reflection before communication. They are kind of in an order. So if you think that should change, let us know because we are iterating. But most people communicate before they reflect. And so we really wanted to pack being able to reflect on what you've done, what you thought you wanted to do, whether you achieved your goals, were they measurable, before you start communicating it wildly.
Well, I know that we're here in a radio studio, but I am learning, shockingly, wherever I go, whether it's a company with people of any age, that the art of communicating what is inside a person's head, as easy as it sounds, because most of us are able to talk, it isn't easy. It is not easy to say what is inside your head, to bring that out into purposeful, meaningful words. That is not the easiest thing in the world. And I don't know how you teach this.
It's not just what comes out of your mouth, it's how the other person hears.
Correct. The two are conjoined.
There's a lot of information about how can I speak so that you can hear me.
Exactly. How do you teach that?
Practice, by giving the children the voice and the agency, so they're not just receivers, so that they are practicing these types of things and getting feedback. So there's no point in just practicing something, doing it, and then saying, okay, let's move on to the next topic. So being that part of that reflection part of the work that the children do is so important. How can I reflect on my learning? What did I do? What can I do better next time? Getting feedback from the peers. So this peer might say, well, yep, that was great. I really understood. And then another one will not have understood, because the words used and just the way that we've spoken. So it's giving the children the hands-on experience of communicating with each other and finding out whether it works.
And all of this, everything that you've described, the reflection, the communication, the working, despite whether it's on your own or in a group, it also allows a person to understand themselves quite fully and deeply as they are going through puberty, one of the hardest points in life. And you're dealing with that very, very tough. I wouldn't really want to be in your position.